What's up, family? It's your man IPO Mace, and welcome to part one of Godly Wisdom. Today I want to talk about effective use of time. Effective use of time. Today it's September 28th, 2024, and we roughly have 3 months left in the 2024 calendar year. And as I was driving home last night, I asked myself, what am I going to achieve, or what am I going to execute successfully in the next 3 months of the year? Some of you are in a state of uncertainty. You feel as though this year has not went according to plan. In the beginning, you had so many great ideas. You had so many things in motion, and it just seems like it slowed down. And if I'm being honest, or rather, if you're being real with yourself, you're saying, man, where did the time go? But I want to give you a gentle reminder. You still have roughly close to 92 days to effectively execute your plan. Don't put time off, or rather, don't take this time for granted. I want you to effectively plan the next 92 days of the year. And I'm saying that because there's big in the small. There's big in the small. What do I mean by that? Everything that has ever been big started small. If you look at the top 500 companies of the S&P 500, Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, Microsoft, all these companies were started with a vision. But see, vision isn't enough if you don't have action behind your vision. It all can start from an idea. And so as I'm sharing this with you, I want you to realize that it's not too late. I could care less if you're 30, 40, 50, 60. I don't care if you're on the verge of bankruptcy right now. You still have an opportunity to make something by the end of the year. And what I mean by make something, I mean you have the power and the authority to execute on your dreams. And so I don't want us to take this for granted. I want us to end the year strong so that we can have momentum built for 2025. We are not supposed to lack. We are not supposed to be surviving. It's our birthright. It's our DNA to be successful. I want you to pause and reflect on what I just said. You were anointed to flow. You were designed, you were equipped, you were built to have prosperity. Now, that doesn't mean that hard times won't happen. That doesn't mean that you won't come to a head with adversity. What that means is that even though trials and tribulations may come your way, just because letdowns happen, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to defeat you. I was listening to, or rather I was watching the movie The Prince of Egypt, which was based on Moses' life in the Bible. And as I began to read the Bible about Moses, Moses' name in Hebrew, rather the Hebrew verb, means to draw out or to pull out of water. I want you to think about that for a second. Moses' name was to pull out or draw out of water. Now, to give you some context, if you don't know about the story of Moses, Moses was a Hebrew born son. However, the Egyptians were ruling during that time of his birth. And the Pharaoh at that time feared that the Hebrew people would become so strong that they would overthrow the Egyptian people. And so they began to kill them, or rather throw them in the water. And Moses' mom used wisdom, which I actually believe God gave her revelation that there was purpose on Moses' life. And so she gathered a basket. She gathered some blankets. And she threw Moses in the water. Not threw him, but she put the basket in the water and he flowed. And when he flowed, the same Pharaoh that was ordering the murder of the Hebrew people, his daughter found Moses. Now, to just speed up the story, Moses began to realize who he was and where he come from. And one day he seen that his people were being oppressed. And so he killed the man. He killed him and Pharaoh got wind of it. And so Moses had to flee out into the country. And from there, Moses spent, at least 30 to 40 years out of the country. And he settled and had a family. But this is the powerful thing about it. God himself came down and he grabbed Moses' attention with a burning bush, right? And he came down because he remembered that he made a covenant with Moses' ancestors, right? And so God told Moses, he said, I've heard the cries of the Hebrew people rather, and I'm sending you as my vessel to go free them. And of course, Moses is being who he is. And rather, when God gives us such a big task, a big word, a big promise, we begin to sometimes question. And that's exactly what Moses did. Moses said, Lord, it can't be me. It can't be. And God said, I know what I put in you. I'm paraphrasing right now, but God said, I know what I put in you. You think I don't realize who you are? You think I would come off of my throne to not know that you are the right person for the job? I know who you are, Moses. I named you. I saved you. I protected you for a purpose. And as Moses began to again, not debate, but try to get out of the job, God said, go. He just said, go. I don't want to hear it. Go. I'll be with you. I want to use you to show the people, the Hebrew people rather, my glory. And as Moses' goal to free his people, and he meets Pharaoh, who he was actually raised with, the new Pharaoh. He told him straight up, he said, man, God said, let his people go. And paraphrasing Pharaoh, like, bruh, you tripping. I got millions of your people. They providing free labor for me. They're building my empire. They're not guarding, but they're growing my food. They're building my statues. I can't do that, Moses. And so this is when I love Moses had to go back to Pharaoh 10 times. 10. In order for Pharaoh to finally realize that God was not playing and that he was going to have to let his people go. What I love, or rather what I observed, is that Moses could have just stopped after the first no. I wonder who I'm talking to today. Why have you stopped on your first no? Why have you given up? Why have you got discouraged? Because you received the word from the living God, but you stopped. It didn't happen the way you thought it was going to happen, so you stopped. It didn't come as fast as you thought it was supposed to, so you slowed down. And I'm looking at this man, Moses, who had the courage to say, the living God told me that you are going to have to set his people free so they could worship me. Worship me. And God was steady, persistent, sending plague after plague after plague, word after word to say, he is going to let my people go. And I'm going to use him to show my miracles, my hand, my powerful abilities. I wonder, beloved, what you're going through right now. I wonder if God is trying to show you who he is, or rather who he is. When Moses first had interaction with God and he asked, well, who should I say sent me? He said, I am what I am. God said, I am that I am. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. So today I want to give you hope. If God told you something was going to come to pass, I want you to attack it with aggression for the next 92 days. I need you to understand who you are and the anointing that you possess. You are a leader. You are a go-getter. You are a game changer, and you are one of a kind. The choice is yours. But remember, you control. You control your mindset. It's IPO Mace, man, and this is Godly Wisdom.